welcome back to another episode of Whiskey Diaries. My name is Martin Lang and today we're here at Death and Taxes and we're going to be talking about a beautiful whiskey called Hibiki. Hibiki is part of the Suntory group. Basically, it's part of Yamazaki and Hakushu. Basically, Yamazaki being the father of Japanese whiskey and being responsible of the popularity of Japanese whiskey around the world. Yamazaki and Nika, both distilleries, have been basically responsible of single-handedly pushing Japanese whiskey beyond the boundaries and making it famous all around the world. Now all Japanese whiskeys around Japan, they basically sell out either in a matter of seconds or they're just really hard to get. Now, Hibiki in itself is actually quite a new addition in comparison to other whiskies around the world. They only started in 1999 as an introduction of blended whiskies. Until 2010, Hibiki was supposed to be blended by about 30 different whiskies, 2 whiskies in the bottle up to 30 years old. Obviously, following the Scottish regulations for whiskey in Japan, the same as Scotland, you can't put the age statement in a bottle. The age statement in the bottle signifies the youngest whiskey in the bottle, not the oldest. So Hibiki 17, for instance, in this case, 17 is the youngest, but they are well known to put whiskies up to 30 years old. Now, after 2010, with the boom of Japanese whiskies and everything, Hibiki decided to start using 10 different malts and grains. So the 10 different malts come from the distillery of Yamazaki, Hakushu, and Chita. Now, we talked about Yamazaki Distillers Edition and we touched on the basic things that Yamazaki and Hakushu use a lot. They do a lot of different types of whiskey for not only the blend but to experiment as well. So Yamazaki, for instance, they do a light smoky grain. Basically a non-smoke malted barley, a medium smoke malted barley, and a heavily peated malted barley. And then they do different cask finishes, and between each distillery, between Hakushu and Yamazaki and Chita, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually have 30-40 different types of malt to blend. Now, the Hibiki in this case, as I said, is 10 different malts and grains, so it's an actual blended whiskey. They have been winning massive amounts of awards, and I remember buying the Hibiki 17 around 2015. You could buy for like maybe $100 a bottle or $90 a bottle. This bottle now sells for over $500, $800 if you can find it online, and if you can even buy it. Now, the bottle in itself is very recognizable. Pretty sure everybody can recognize the bottle by now. It actually has all like Japanese, so they're very meticulous in everything that they do, and it actually has a meaning. So each little square bit of the bottle represents an hour of the day or one season, because Japanese consider the seasons 24 seasons. There's 24 ages to the bottle. Hibiki means harmony in Japanese, and also the label in itself, it's a very traditional type of Japanese paper that is called washi, and it's basically used with different fibers from Japan, and the label itself comes from a precinct as well that they've been doing this type of paper for the last 1500 years, and it's supposed to be super good quality. All the handwriting, everything is incredibly detailed, and it's an absolutely stunning whiskey. The cask, they say that they have about different types of casks that go into this as well. I'm assuming American oak, some sherry, port, whatever they can get. Misonara might be some of that. I cannot find the actual information. If anybody would like to comment on that, that would be amazing. ABV is 43% ABV, which I think is great for a blended whiskey. And it's just, my personal opinion, is probably the best blended whiskey out there, or at least in the top 2, top 3, compared to other blended whiskies. The grain, we're going to try it now, but the grain, so there's a lot of blended whiskies from Scotland and stuff, when you can definitely tell that there's grain spirit in the backbone. I particularly don't enjoy that flavor, but a lot of people do. Regardless of that, this whiskey is just a really well balanced whiskey, and for a 17-year-old, this is absolutely stunning. There you go. It's a 17. The color is kind of like an orangey yellow. So the smell, yeah, it's definitely, you can definitely get the Yamazaki and the Hakushu influence in this. Hakushu having a little bit more smoke. This is slightly smoky, but it's just very subtle. It's not very, and then yeah, that's delicious. A little bit of water could do well, but to be honest, you can have this neat straight away. There's a lot of hints of chocolate, like dark chocolate, and then you get a little bit of sweetness, like almost like honey. It has a really good palate weight as well. Absolutely delicious whiskey. And then yeah, if you can get your hands around it, definitely worth it. And now that it's either for Christmas or for a birthday present, this is delicious. Anyway guys, hopefully we'll see you next time. Salam Japa.